Ah, childhood. A carefree time. A time when a heated debate with a stuffed parrot was acceptable. No, you're sexist. A time when the world was your oyster. What does that even mean, an oyster? You got no opportunities in an oyster? Oh, look, it's a sand crust. Whoa, it's that same sand crust. I got a dream. Dream big, at least. Anyways, today on Bitchin' Kitchen, we're gonna be cooking up a bitchin' spin on my childhood favorite dishes. First up, an update on fish sticks. Baccala Salt Cod Croquettes served with that tangy dill tartar sauce. Next, we're making a riso con la ricotta, rice with ricotta, sweet peas, and pancetta crispies. And for dessert, an adult spin on PB&J, homemade peanut cashew butter with spicy blackberry jam. Panos talks salt cod.
A 500-year-old delicacy.
The spice agent yaps about Anaheim chilies.
And now you'll never find them.
Hans informs on organic peanuts.
Everybody loves nuts.
I'm Nadia G, and you're watching Nadia G's Bitchin' Kitchen. Doo-doo-doo-doo. I was a pretty good-looking kid. Some may even say gorgeous. Look, I'm not trying to be conceited. I'm only giving credit where credit is due. Contrary to popular belief, being small doesn't automatically make you good-looking. I've seen some wonky-looking squiblets, my friend. The kind of squiblet that when you make eye contact, you can't help but look around the room, be like, who made this thing? Don't be offended. It's natural. Junior will eventually grow into his tail. Let's get going. We'll start with one of my all-time childhood favorites, Baccala fish sticks. Here I've got 1 pound of Baccala Salt Cod. It's been sitting in water for 24 hours. You want to change that water every once in a while. During the process, get rid of that salt. Heat a pot on medium. Add 4 cups of whole milk. And smash 4 garlic cloves. Pop these suckers in. Adds such a nice flavor to the baccala. In goes our cod, and you want to simmer this for 10 minutes. Here's Panos with more on baccala.
Thanks, Nads. Salt cod, or bacalharo, how we call it in Greek, is cod which is preserved by salting and drying. People have been drying fish for over 500 years, bro. It's the world's oldest known preservation method. In fact, back in the day, they used dry fish as currency. And to this day, in my hometown in Greece, we still use it as currency. We know the value of a dried fish, bro. Psst. Bro, between you and me, I only paid 16 scampies for my wife. You get what you pay for. What do you want to do? Drying fish preserves all kinds of nutrients and gives it a shelf life of several years. Years, bro. Imagine. All those years, all that fish, all that drying. It fascinates me.
Thanks, Panos. I'm equally fascinated. On to our potatoes. Here I've got 4 russets that have been cubed. We're gonna boil these babies in salted water for about 15 minutes until fork tender. Not sure how many of you know this, but I'm an only child. So that means I used to spend a lot of time in my room alone, in deep conversation with inanimate objects. Not much has changed, huh?
Hey.
Die. Anyways, I learned a lot of things hanging out by myself. I learned that you shouldn't cover yourself in shampoo and lick a velveteen sofa. I learned that it's easier to get your head into the stair railing than it is to get it out. But the biggest lesson I learned hanging out by myself is that eating makes the pain go away. When we get back, we're gonna finish these cod croquettes and make fun of some 80s toys, so stay bitchin'. Welcome back to Bitchin' Kitchen Childhood Favorites. Now, one of my biggest influences growing up was my great aunt Zia Maritina. Not only was she an amazing cook, but she was hilarious. Zia was most famous for her colorful death threats. She'd say things like, Zita, bambina, or I'll pickle your spleen to remind you of the bitter woman you made me. Okay. Another classic was, Zita, bambina, or I'll gouge out your eye and make you look at yourself so you could see the pain you caused me. Ricotta, what a riot! Our potatoes are cooked and drained. Next step, heat a pan on medium. Add 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil. And saute 2 minced shallots until you get some crispy edges, about 5 to 8 minutes. It's gonna add a ton of flavor to our croquettes. Scaff the shallots in with the potatoes. In goes our cod, 2 tablespoons of mayonnaise, teaspoon of Dijon, some habanero hot sauce, tablespoon of minced fresh parsley, peps, and mash it up. You know what I love about mashing potatoes? Nothing. You just gotta do it. Perfect. Cover it up. Refrigerate for about 20 minutes, just so it's easy to roll into croquettes. I got some ready to go. Now grab a handful of this mixture and shape it like fish sticks. Now what you want to do is dip them in some flour, beaten egg, and panko breadcrumbs. Now fry these up in 350-degree canola oil, or any oil with a high smoke point, for about 2 minutes until golden and crispy. Nice. While these crisp up, here are the top 3 strangest toys from the 80s. Popples, furry balls that unfurled into cute little creatures that literally had their head up their ass. Creepy crawlers. Basically a slime kit that makes bugs. Granted, not super weird in and of itself, but it was all about the theme song. Scare your mother, embarrass your dad. Did I ever run with that one? Strawberry shortcake. A scratch and sniff doll that smelled like, you guessed it, a strip. Our fish sticks are ready to go. Get the last ones out of the oil. Look at that color, so crispy. Now we're gonna make a tartar sauce. In a big bowl, mix 1/2 cup of light mayo. You can also use regular mayo, the juice of 1/2 lemon, tablespoon of minced fresh dill, 2 tablespoons of sweet relish. I love this stuff. Tablespoon of roughly chopped capers, 2 tablespoons of Vidalia onion, finely diced, a couple of drops of hot sauce, tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, teaspoon of grainy Dijon mustard, and some sea salt to taste. What else are you gonna do with sea salt? Sniff it. Of course you're gonna taste it. Mix it up. Let's plate this dish. That crisp panko exterior. You've got the creamy mashed potatoes mixed in with that briny cod and this tartar sauce. It's fantastic. The fresh dill, capers, cider vinegar, giving it a bit of pungency. These are fish sticks, my friend. Fish sticks. Next up, riso con la ricotta. Rice with ricotta, sweet peas, and pancetta crispies. I remember eating this all the time when I was a kid. And between you and me, that's about all I remember. Well, let's be honest here. Who actually remembers their childhood? Sure, we all pretend we do, so our moms don't feel bad about wasting all that energy. But you know what my childhood memories are like? Ricotta la ricotta, stick your finger in a socket, la 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 la, lose a turtle and boom, graduation. Bring 2 cups of water to a boil and throw in 1 cup of your favorite rice. Simmer for 15-20 minutes until the rice is al dente. While this cooks, we're gonna heat a pan on medium. Add a tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil. And saute 3 ounces of diced pancetta. If you don't have pancetta, you could use bacon. Add 1/3 of a cup of diced onion. Oh, it smells so good. Saute for about 8 minutes until the pancetta is nice and crispy. Schiff in 3/4 of a cup of frozen peas. You could also use fresh peas if you can find them. Saute them for about a minute or 2. Don't want to saute them too much or else they'll get soggy. When we get back, we're gonna finish this ricotta la ricotta, and I'm gonna take you to St. Leonard, the small town that made me what I am today. Bipolar. Welcome back to Childhood Favorites. Now, I grew up in St. Leonard, an Italian immigrant borough of Montreal. Roll the tape.
Welcome to St. Leonard, a vibrant Italian immigrant borough in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. That's right, America. There's a big country just above you. It's a quaint little town where people named Joe, Mary, Tina, and Gino eat cutlet sandwiches and live with their parents until they're 40.
I have my socks on! And my pantofoli!
Hai capito?
Ah!
Where the boys are clean shaven, and in certain cases, we wish we could say the same for the girls. Play bocce, buy rapini, see the wildlife. It's fun the whole family won't enjoy. So for your next exotic getaway, think St. Leonard, where we put the nard in Saint.
Put the nard in what? Let's finish this dish. Grab our peas, pancetta, and onions, schiff them in our rice. In goes 3/4 of a cup of ricotta, some sea salt, some pepper, and mix it up. Let's plate this dish. We'll top it off with a bit of freshly grated pecorino, a bit more pepper, and zacata. Oh, this creamy ricotta. You got the sweetness of the peas working with the salty pancetta, and pancetta makes everything okay. For dessert, we're making a childhood favorite, all right, adult PB&J sandwiches. Now, this would be the perfect time to tell you a story about how I ate peanut butter and jelly sandwiches as a kid. But the truth is, Italians don't do PB&J, so I never ate any. I just wish I did. That's why I lied a bit. I'm sorry. We'll start with our homemade cashew peanut butter in a food processor. Add 1 cup of unsalted organic peanuts, 1 cup of unsalted cashews. Now, add 1/2 teaspoon of salt. See, you want to control the salt. A tablespoon of orange juice, 1 tablespoon of maple syrup. Here I've got 3/4 of a cup of canola oil. You could also use peanut oil. What we're gonna do is we're gonna start blending these peanuts and slowly stream in this oil until you get the consistency you like. I like it smooth, so I'm gonna let it go a bit. While I finish this up, here's Hans with more on organic peanuts.
Miss G, peanuts are very high in protein, a whopping 8 grams of protein per ounce. But there's some juggling to do with these nuts. On the one hand, they're rich in nutrients like vitamin E, niacin, fiber, and magnesium. On the other hand, they're pretty high in saturated fats. This is the case with all nuts. But don't let these facts scare you. It's one thing if you're sitting around gobbling nuts all day, but savoring nuts on occasion is perfectly healthy. When it comes to nut munching, moderation is key.
Thanks, Hans. When we get back, we're gonna finish up this adult PB&J sandwich, and the spice agent is gonna report on Anaheim chilies, you nerds. It's funny how parents project their dreams onto their kids. My dad, he wanted me to become a professional tennis player, despite the fact that I hated sports. But here's the thing, his fantasy had nothing to do with tennis. He didn't even watch tennis. He wanted me to become a pro player, get this, so we could sell Josiah marmalade. But he'd get so excited about selling jam, his eyes would light up and he'd do this little dance. You know what's even stranger than that dance? That doing what I do, there probably will be a Josiah marmalade. I guess all roads lead to jam. Oh. It's time to finish up this adult PB&J sandwich. Our cashew peanut butter is ready. Now we're gonna make some spicy blackberry jam. In a pot, throw in 1 pound of ripe blackberries, 1/4 cup of raw sugar, whoop, the zest of 1 lemon, and 1 minced Anaheim chili. If you like it hot, keep the seeds. We're gonna simmer this on medium-low heat for about 40 minutes. Here's the spice agent with his Anaheim chili report.
Thank you, Nadia. The Anaheim chili heat typically ranges from 500 to 2500 on the Scoville scale, which equals to 1,700 מעלות Celsius on the Ra'anana scale. But some varieties grown in New Mexico can reach 4,500 to 5,000 Scoville units, which equals to... Actually, the Ra'anana scale doesn't go that high, because we figure if you need that much heat, have a barbecue. The name Anaheim derives from a farmer named Emilio Ortega, who bring the seeds to Anaheim, California in the early 1900s. But don't make the same mistake like me, because Anaheim, Emilio, Anaheim Mighty Ducks, Emilio Estevez, like the movie where they play soccer on the ice. Nadia, the Anaheim chilies are almost impossible to find outside of California. But you can't fool the spice agent. I found out they have different aliases, these chilies, like the California chili, or Magdalena, or like in Jeopardy, what is the New Mexico chili, Alex? I don't understand this game, Jeopardy. You answer the question with an answer because Alex, he know all the answers? Listen, Alex, in life you have to be humble. Just because you know all the answers, don't be a show-off. Karma, Alex, karma.
Thanks,
יחזקאל מזרחי.
Look at this beautiful jam. What a color. Now what you want to do is refrigerate it until it's completely cool. I got some ready to go. You know why it has a bow on it? Because it makes an amazing food gift if you have good hygiene. Yes, we all have friends that you don't really want to accept food from, Know thyself. Let's plate this dish. Here I've got some beautiful bread. We're gonna slather one of the slices with our cashew peanut butter. The other slice with our spicy blackberry jam. Give the old cutty cut, huh? Serve this up with a nice cold glass of organic milk, and you've got yourself a snack! Oh, the delicious buttery cashew peanut butter. It really changes the consistency of it. And then you've got that spicy, sweet blackberry jam. That's more medicine whatsoever eat. Today on Bitchin' Kitchen, we cooked up 3 of my favorite childhood recipes. Granted, my all-time favorite was drinking salad dressing, but I couldn't figure out how to work that into a cooking show, The point is, you've got to cherish childhood because time flies. Feels like just yesterday I was wearing a furry one-piece pajama, riding a crazy carpet down the stairs, yelling, "Woo, I'm a pony!" Wait, that was yesterday. Never mind. Alla prossima!